Welcome everyone to this morning's edition of the Biker Angle. Before I go into the subject today, just want to remind you, on the 19th, I'm going to be going live right here on YouTube. Go ahead and answer some questions and stuff like that. I think I'll have everything figured out by then. Getting used to the YouTube live stuff, especially how to set it up and all that stuff. I'm a new jack at, so yeah, on the 19th, we're going to be doing that. And let's get into the subject that I want to talk about today. I've been getting tagged in a shitload of posts about this Gangland Undercover and a possible season 3, asking what my thoughts are. The series is based on a 2013 memoir, Mongols, Vagos, Mongols, and Outlaws, My Infiltration of America's Deadliest Gangs, written by Charles Falco with Kerry Droban. It's actually quite funny. Kerry Droban has written many books on the biker culture. Problem is, those books have been from rats like Falco, or out bad shit talkers like Pete James. Anyone see a pattern here? Is Kerry Droban the go-to for all these rats and shit talkers? You just gotta ask yourself that kind of shit, man. Kerry is actually a cool, down-to-earth type of person. But word of advice to Kerry, might want to stay away from all the rats. They're bringing you down within the biker community. They're giving you a reputation of being the author who only writes for a bunch of rats and people who have beefs to settle with their old clubs. One thing that disappoints me in Kerry is she does not get the motorcycle club side of the story about the person she is writing about. At least try and sit down or get a sit down with some of them and ask them to either confirm or deny some of the shit that's being written in these books about them. I wonder if Kerry would issue an addendum if the book goes to another print for The Last Chicago Boss. Now that the club has come out and issued their side of the story, I wonder if it would be included in another run. All she would have to do is include the shortened version of the AOA response from Illinois. It's the shortened one. It's not the big one from the national one. And that would be AOA. Now, this is from AOA Illinois, if you guys haven't heard. If you haven't, I don't know how you haven't. This shit's everywhere right now. I think just this week alone, it's got 3.4 million views just in a week. So, it's out there and it's still going strong. Anyway, Big Pete was not thrown out for having cancer, such as he likes to claim, but rather by betraying and attempting to manipulate this club and its brothers for his own desires and personal gain. He betrayed this brotherhood and what it stands for just to further his own ego and to attempt to manipulate our brotherhood from the inside to his own advantage. For this, we will not stand for, nor will it be tolerated. Like the disease he has contracted, he became a cancer to this club. And like any other cancer, we have cut him out and radiated him from our ranks and honorable club. This is a club of values, including brotherhood, honor, and respect. These are values that Pete James, Big Pete, does not possess, nor does he fully comprehend. He only knows the definition of words, but not what they mean. The club has been in existence since 1935. For over 80 years, honorable brothers have worn our patch on their backs honorably and proudly. We live by a code of honor, loyalty, and respect. We have no room for internet warriors and cowards like that of Pete James. So, I wonder if she would put that in her book. I wonder if she would put in her book that he's threatened to sell club property over the internet, and he has been calling cops every time the Outlaws wanted the property back. Not much of a Chicago boss if he's calling the cops now, is it? I'm just wondering, I'm not banging on Kerrie. I've actually interviewed her on Motorcycle Madhouse, but because I think she is a good person and a professional, I would hate for her reputation among the biker community to continue to be damaged because she didn't acknowledge the AOA side of the story. Those who wanted my opinion on that gangland bullshit, I can care less about a fucking rat fuck like Falco. He's a coward piece of shit of a man. One who got his ass busted, and because he was too much of a pussy to take the time, he decided to cut a deal. He knew the game he was getting into, and when he got caught, he turned rat. It was that simple. He turned rat because he couldn't take the consequences of the game he wanted to play in the first place. He's a punk bitch with no self-esteem or honor. When he dies, everyone will remember him for being the coward rat he is. Could you imagine being a kid of his? Having to look at your father in the eye knowing he was a coward fuck? That's one thing I really don't understand about people like Falco or Pete James. They want to play the game, but when it comes all crashing down, they want to run to the fucking cops. They wanted to play Billy Badass until they no longer had the backing of a group of men. Basically, they are yellow pieces of shit. Falco is the ultimate definition of human waste. Pete, on the other hand, is a walking contradiction of himself. He goes on these live videos trying to convince the masses he has honor and loyalty. That he was somebody. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Really. Dude wants to live off of a position he once held, but at the same time refuses to hand in property of the club. What kind of honor does someone like that have? I bet if the same situation happened under his watch, he'd be sending out guys to go get the shit no matter what. He wouldn't care who he put in jeopardy getting that shit, because he was the boss. Now, many are probably asking why I'm coming out so hard on this. You have to know the betrayal that was felt. I acknowledge that the betrayal can be nowhere near what those feel when someone like Falco takes the stand. But I feel it's extremely important as a biker news publisher to get the information that needs to get out there to the public, especially regarding people like Falco and Pete James. Now, Falco, I cannot speak much on other than he was a rat piece of shit coward. What I can do is speak about Pete James. For someone to claim so much expertise on being a biker and so much expertise in the motorcycle club scene, he sure the hell isn't showing it, is he? BBS is a group where he and other moderators claim is for education and freedom. How could anyone listen to that bullshit? Here is an out bad and guy who refuses to man up and hand in club property. Then you have other club members that are in that group. Oh my God. And this one, because I was sent this morning. I was actually sent this, where it quote, "Well, there is always three sides of the story. His side, the club side, and then the truth." Man, get the hell out of here with that shit. Those in the club know damn well when a vote's taken, it's gospel. If you're wearing a three-piece, you're wearing any kind of patch, you're in any kind of club, you know the vote is gospel. There ain't three sides of the story. They especially know that club property is just that. Club property. How in the hell do they explain the hypocrisy in supporting that shit? Would they allow it to happen to their club? Fuck no, they wouldn't. So how in the hell are they going to even give any kind of advice to anyone when they cannot even follow their basic rules they claim to abide by. It's the very height of hypocrisy and plain bullshit. That's another thing. How do you travel all those miles to meet the dude, and he only stayed out there for 2 hours, I'm told? What the fuck is that? You all know why he didn't stay. You know what? He was too busy looking over his shoulder because people who are not pleased with him could have shown up at any time. Here's the thing about that. If he handed in his club property, he wouldn't be looking over his shoulder now, would he? You would think if he wants to put the past behind him and truly do BBS the way it should be, he would just make arrangements to get the property back to the club. That's actually the honorable thing to do. Hey, you know what? Here's what we could do. Insane Throttle could make the proper arrangements to get the property from him and make sure it gets back to where it belongs. He wouldn't even have to meet face to face with his old club. But how does he or the moderators expect the group BBS to go anywhere with this kind of cloud hanging over its main guy? Jesus Christ. The guy goes around subscribing to people on YouTube who make shitty comments about him. What the fuck kind of creeper shit is that? Then goes around calling everyone else a keyboard warrior, right? Come on. So, you heard it right here, right now. Insane Throttle will make the arrangements to get the property back to the club. You know what? Shit. He can even use his own courier so he don't have to see anyone. Use one of those that, you know what, he claims he's talking to in the support clubs. We will keep his name and club confidential so he won't be looked at shitty for talking to an outbad AOA. That right there sounds like a sweet-ass deal. Pete does the right thing by the MC community he claims to love so much. And Insane Throttle will make sure we get the property to where it goes. And we will lay off his ass. We won't print another word about him. We won't start making campaigns against the book that's in the process of being planned right now, the publisher, or anything else like that. He'd be free to do whatever he wants. He wouldn't have to look over his shoulder every time he goes out the door anymore. That's actual freedom, don't you all think? Putting the past completely in the past. I'm sorry to say, BBS, until he does that very step, BBS is nothing but a farce. Its foundation is built on quicksand. It's only going to sink because the guy running it will have that cloud hanging over it as long as he's around. Members can preach loyalty, and I seen this in one of the groups. I couldn't fucking believe this one. But members can preach loyalty. It's about 100%. It's this little meme thing with skulls or whatever the shit that was forwarded to me. Here's the thing about loyalty. It has to be both ways and built on a solid foundation. For those who attended that fest, think about this, will ya? Would he be showing you loyalty for putting you in a position that could have paid out very badly if people showed up to talk with him? He talks shit about Chicago all the time. This is a fucking fantasy he pushes because he wants to be in the spotlight. AOA is doing just fine. Chicago is and always will be a black and white town. Just as Oakland will be a red and white, and so on. Chicago was the birthplace of Charlie. You really think he makes a difference at all in it? If the shit he was talking was true, it happened under his watch then, didn't it? What's that tell you about his so-called leadership? Here's the thing. He talked about people in the book he was jealous of. Especially his boss. Because in all those years, he couldn't get anyone to support him from that position, the next step up. Think about what a vice president really is anyway. The position, you might as well be a lackey. You're only there if something happens to the president. Equate it to the United States. You know, you got president, VP. He ain't worth a shit until something happens to the president. Same shit goes here. The problem with most people is they're nothing but hypocrites. They especially don't use any common sense at all. Bunch of sheep who jump on a bandwagon. Shit. Even I fell for the bullshit. But at least I made a course correction when finding out the facts from the club. Will any of you? Do you really think you're going to have this fantasy of a grand convention for BBS in Chicago? Yeah, right. See how that goes with the dude holding on to club property. Dude had to jet after only a couple hours after bringing some of you up here from different states. So how is it going to work having a big convention in Chicago of all places? So, what do y'all think? Insane Throttle will make sure the property gets to where it needs to be. Those ignorant enough to ask this stupid question, why his old club just don't do it themselves? Kind of hard when the damn cops are called all the time. He made sure there was a link back to his old club if something happened to him. You know, that Art of War bullshit he likes trying to play? Which, by the way, this is 2018, not 1990. Shit isn't like that anymore. So, that's my challenge to you BBS members. See if you can get him to do the right thing. Make the calls. Blow up the email. You know, actually practice what you guys preach. If you believe in the motorcycle club scene, you believe in being free or educated, then maybe your boss should do the right thing. Put the past in the past, man. And I guarantee you, Insane Throttle will never talk about you again. And I guarantee you, your past will be behind you. And you can have a shred of fucking decency left in you. But that's my take on the Charles Falco thing. I can't stand rats, if you guys can't tell. You know, I never understood why, if you knew you were in the game, you knew there was consequences, why not man up, man? Be a man. I could never understand that shit. And just like in his situation, you were the goddamn fucking boss of the North Side. A chapter that had bosses before you that were fucking blow your ass away. But, honorable fucking men. There's outlaws serving goddamn life terms for that patch. You think for them you might do the right thing? Let's see where your brotherhood truly is. But that's all for today. And you guys keep the rubber side down. Any questions, let me know. Don't forget, be going live on the 19th, man. We'll see how that shit works out. See if I got it right or not, man. But I also want to thank everybody, man. We just hit 20,000 subscribers over on Facebook in under 2 weeks' time. Our next goal is 30,000. So we're going to keep on building this social media stuff. I'm starting to really like it now. Before I was only working on the websites and stuff like that. But this is kind of fun. But with that, you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys later.